Hey, welcome to the channel Forever Orchids. My name is Tracy and I'm so glad you're here. If you're an orchid lover, an orchid enthusiast like I am, you're in the right place. A little while ago, I did a video on some damage that I received on some plants when they were shipped, and it was heat damage. Well, today I want to show you, because we're going to repot, or pot up, I should say, because in that video I unpotted one of the plants and I thought maybe there was some snail damage. So I have had this plant. This is RLC Midori Sato. I got this from Akasuko Orchid, or what is it? Akasuko Gardens, Orchid Gardens. Yeah, Volcano, Hawaii. Get my brain working this morning. And what I have done so far is I have soaked this a couple of times in sea kelp extract. This is starting to swell a little bit of swelling there. Let me see if the camera will focus on those root tips. I'm probably just going to have to put up a picture of those new root tips there. And let me show you. I literally have had it sitting in this ceramic pot on top of sphagnum moss. And I want you to see the roots that I have gotten off of this. Look at all of this root growth here. Let me pull this one out of the way here. Look at all that root growth. Can you see that? I hope this camera focuses on that. Look at all that root growth off of the pseudobulb here. This pseudobulb here was the newest growth on this particular plant. It has a flower sheath. I have no idea if we're going to actually get any buds come fall, but I just wanted to show you all the new root growth. There's also this eye on this plant has started swelling. I'm not really expecting it to grow because this plant is stressed, okay? It's been out of a pot. It has been just kind of sitting in the air. My environment is pretty dry. Even though I'm indoors, it's summertime, it's dry. It's still dry. My orchid room here is about 47%. I've had 2 humidifiers running in it. Just having a hard time keeping the humidity up. So I do have some shriveled bulbs on this, but the new root growth. So we're going to dive in and we're going to pot it up. So I've got a clay pot here, and this is what I'm going to put it in. And I think it will fit very nicely as long as I push the back bulbs here up against the back of one side of the pot. That's going to give all of these roots here the ability to grow down, and I could get 1 or 2 more growths out of this. So to get this established, I don't want to go a bigger pot size. I think this one will be just fine. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, got my tag here, I am going to put it in some bark perlite. There's a little bit of charcoal and sphagnum moss mixed in to this mix. Now I've had this mix sitting in sea kelp extract. Let that bark soak. I didn't know for the longest time that bark will repel water. It takes it a while before it gets saturated to where it'll start retaining some moisture. So I'm going to put some here down in the bottom. I'm just going to do straight bark in here, I believe. Make sure none comes out of the bottom. Whew. You know what? This is what we're going to do. I have told you guys on Bag Babies, save your little plastic nettings. You can use those. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to cut it up. This is on a whim. Hadn't even planned on doing this, but we're going to cut some of this netting, and I'm just going to use it down in the bottom of the pot to cover up the hole, and that'll keep my bark from falling through the hole of the clay pot. You can use window screen. You can use rocks if you wanted to down in the bottom of your pots, but this just was close by, laying around, so I grabbed it. And I'm just going to put some bark down in the bottom. And I've got it to about halfway. And I'm going to sit this down now on top of it. Being very careful of these new root tips and trying not to break them. Okay. Then I'm going to hold my plant, excuse me, and then I'm going to start taking the bark and filling it in under these roots. I think I will give myself a little mound of this over to one side of the pot so that it'll kind of get under those roots. Okay. And then we're just going to fill in. I'm holding the plant a little at an angle till I can give myself some space here to get underneath these roots here. Then I'm going to start gently putting it down. And then we're going to fill in. Sorry about that loud noise. All right, let's see. Use my fingers here to tap around the edges. Okay, that looks good. Look at that plant standing up by itself. Now it's still wobbly in the pot. Still very wobbly, so I may have to use a rhizome clip. Just about got this pot full. Tell you what we're going to do. Probably can pack down along the side here. Make sure this bark is getting underneath. When I got the plant, all of the roots were wound around probably the top inch to inch and a half of the pot that it came in. So very shallow. And that was making me suspect, too, that it did not have a good root system. So I want to take my finger and make sure that I've got enough bark under, kind of going under with my finger underneath the roots here, and making sure there's plenty of bark packed in there. That'll keep supporting the plant. You want your plants to feel secure in their pots. If they feel wobbly, see how kind of still wobbly this is? If you look down at your rhizome and your rhizome is shaking a lot, that plant is not secure in its pot. So I am going to get a rhizome clip. I should have gotten one out of my toolbox ahead of time. But if you know me by now, I do things just kind of spur of the moment on a whim when it comes to preparing for my orchid videos, to be honest. I just go with it. Let's just do it. Alrighty, let me see if I have. I'm looking for, I should have also gotten a little stake that I could push some of this bark down under these roots. I think I'm doing pretty good with my finger under these back roots here. That's probably about as good as it's going to get. I don't want to push a lot right in here where all of these roots are, the new tips, because I don't want to break them. So we're probably going to leave it with that, and I could top dress it with some sphagnum moss. I could top dress this with Pro Mix. That's another thing that a lot of people use for their orchids, just to top dress with some Pro Mix. Get some mycorrhizae fungi down in your pots. That's another video, isn't it? Or we can talk about Pro Mix and talk about mycorrhizae fungi and getting some of that started in your plants. Okay, I am top dressing, as you can see, with some sphagnum moss. The plant was over here and these root tips were growing down in sphagnum moss. Okay, now what I'm going to do is we're going to move this plant out of the way. You can see me a little bit. Kind of been hiding behind this plant, haven't I? Okay, I am going to get a rhizome clip for a clay pot, and I'm going to put that in here and show you what that looks like and how to do that. Okay, I got my toolbox out here. Let's get my clips out here. All right, this is for this is for 8-inch pots. I've got a 6-inch pot here. Let me find those clips. There they are. It'll work. Okay. Now, if you want to know what's in my orchid toolbox, I have a video on that you can go back and watch. I'll link that at the end of this video, and you can go back and watch what I keep in my orchid toolbox here. Keep everything organized. Let me think here. I think I need my pliers. Those are my pruners. Okay. Well, we'll try to bend it with my hands then. Oh, here's a stick too. We can use that. And just tap down in here and get bark underneath these back roots. Okay. Moving right along. Let's move this out of the way. All right, for our rhizome clip. All right. Now, my plant right now is leaning, coming out of the pot. So I'm going to just push right here where it was leaning, push this back roots down a little bit, and I'm going to come right here with the rhizome clip. This is a rhizome clip for when it has this shape right here. This is the angled rhizome clip for clay pots. All right, I'm going to come right in here behind these back bulbs here and get this rhizome clip put in. Now, what I like to do is I look along this straight piece here. Where is my rhizome touching this clip? And then in there, I'm going to bend. I'm going to put a bend in there. I'll try to do it with my hands here since I don't have my pliers down here. Straight bend would be good. And that way this little corner here, little edge will go down into the pot. And then I'm going to press and see how this fits onto your clay pot. I'm going to press this down, whoops, without it twisting, hopefully. And what happens is this curvature clips right under the lip of your clay pot. Now my plant is in here securely and it's not going anywhere. I've got top movement in the leaves, which is great, but my rhizome right here is not moving in the pot. And Midori Sato is done. Repotting an orchid, that's simple. You'll notice here that the sheath, as this bulb is maturing, this sheath is dying back. I've got some wrinkling in the leaves, some dehydration going on, and that's kind of another reason why I think it's a good idea to put some sphagnum moss on the top, keep some moisture. In my environment being so dry, other environments, if you've got this plant outdoors, then sphagnum moss is not going to be a good idea because it's just going to stay moist too long in the summer and you're going to end up rotting your plants. So I'm sorry. I was looking down an awful lot in this video, keeping my eyes on the plant here. So I'm not ignoring you guys. I just wanted to look at what I was doing so that I could tell you guys what it is that I'm doing and how to repot this. And I really wanted to show you guys the roots and what the sea kelp extract has done for this plant in getting new roots. And we are gonna hope for the best. Hope for the best. And it will just tickle me to no end if I actually get buds forming this year on this plant with as much stress as this plant has been through with that heat damage. Let's turn it around this way and you see. There's that heat damage. That's just cosmetic. That's fine. Okay, and there we go. Midori Sato is ready and potted up in a clay pot. I think it looks great. And I hope you enjoyed this quick little video on repotting. And until next time, guys, happy orchid growing. Bye.